few years as she has been embroiled in a slew of controversies. All of that appears to be catching up with her now, and believe me when I say it hasn't been the loveliest sight for anyone, especially anyone who knows what Wendy's life used to look like. According to reports, the talk show presenter has had a number of personal issues that have forced her to spend time away from her beloved show in recent years, not the least of which is her health. Season 13 of The Wendy Williams Show had been delayed several times due to these issues, and the host was gone for the whole season, with guest house filling in now. However, it appears that Williams experienced a fairly lonely Christmas amid her current health fight, with reports claiming that her friends have all left is in some really important ways. And in other ways, I feel like I'm 6 years old. Like, how do you do that again? What happens with that again? Yeah. But that's all she's been calling. People saying like, hey, let's have dinner. But she's acting like all this time hasn't passed. A close friend told The Sun is the sound of the blue call, with no update on how she's doing or anything. When she reaches out, she acts as if we went out to eat last week. The companion continued, let then things get worse for her. Williams has been known for decades for offering hot thoughts on hot celebrity topics, but she has been the focus of several unexpected news stories since 2019, when she left her husband, Kevin Hunter. When it was found that he had a child with his mistress, she suffered a lot of setbacks. Since then, including the death of her mother, Shirley Williams, in 2020, and the loss of several close friends, according to an unidentified source in the New York Times. Williams' behavior has caused her erstwhile pals to abandon her. She no longer has any allies. She is completely unable to have friends because they say she uses people. One of these friends said she's really hostile to those who try to approach her or assist her. I don't have any really close friends that I can just like pick up my phone and say, come on, let's go out to eat. I mean, I know people to do that with, yeah, but honestly, they're not best friends. They're just people that I know, and we exchange information and conversation. And like that, weird but true, while one would assume that Williams spent time with her 22-year-old son, Kevin Hunter Jr., over the holidays. If this allegation is accurate, there could be a number of reasons why she is currently without much of a support network. For one thing, she's made a career out of exposing her unfiltered opinions on other people's lives, which can be tough for individuals to deal with, especially if they're famous in their own right, and already attempting to keep news about their personal business out of the public eye. Also, as anyone who has had a loved one with chronic health difficulties or has suffered from them will know, being sick all the time is difficult. Even if you and your doctors have discovered ways to manage your conditions, dealing with such experiences can drastically alter a person's outlook on life, and not always for the better. Let's not forget that Williams has been famous for a long time, and it's probably difficult to determine who is truly interested in you against those who are merely looking for a leg up in their jobs. Fame. If she becomes distrustful of longtime friends or begins new relationships by questioning someone's motives, she may encounter unfavorable encounters. But aside from all the significant issues that had brought her to this point, Wendy wasn't exactly the prize friend. Another close friend of Wendy's informed the source that the former talk show host is obsessed with the fact that she is now unmarried and searching for love, when he never mentions any new projects she is purportedly working on. I get married. I want him to have already had kids. I want him to be someplace around my age, maybe 10 years younger than me, and maybe 15 years older than me, okay? You know what I mean. And then we'll be able to do things together, like if we want to all of a sudden fly from New York City. If we want to fly to France to be there for 2 days to have food or whatever, right? I wanted to be able to, I can be qualified with a man that, come on, baby, let's do it. Do we fly private? Or do we fly okay? Yes. When you finally do get her to give you an update about how she's been, she goes off into these tangents about being single, looking for love, and all this other stuff. Wendy's second pal told The Sun this sign-up form for random people to appear on her podcast is a little strange. They added, Wendy is allegedly holding an open appeal for strange guests to come on her unrealized podcast. According to the original claims, Wendy and her manager, Shelby, were working on a podcast called the Wendy Experience Podcast at her fancy penthouse residence in June. We haven't taped an episode just yet every time we've wanted to do so. Someone is trying to offer me something so that they can partner with us. He and Wendy, on the other hand, have begun the creative process and are already planning their first guest, however. If her friends are correct, it appears that this whole thing is merely a ruse to get her to fall in love again. And that idea holds water because Wendy has previously demonstrated that she's desperate for love. In fact, just a few months ago, the 58-year-old talk show presenter, who was married to Kevin Hunter from 1997 until 2019, acknowledged her marriage to a New York Police Department officer named Henry after her representative swore she hadn't married again. Never marry again in my life. Why? Because I don't love that heart then again. I'm older than you, you know what I'm saying. There's no money in marriage for me, I don't care. And look, the man could have tons more money than me, hopefully he will, but I don't want to get married in that way. But everyone seems to have a problem with that. I'm married. I don't care who knows it, I'm married, she clarified. Wendy stated that her rep and 14-year friend will Selby as opposed to her remarrying. She told Jason Lee, the founder of Hollywood Unlocked, sees no point in me getting married. But you know what, 14 years I've known him. And I've always said him in a good way. Wendy's remarks came after Will said it was inaccurate that Wendy had remarried, he stated in the New York Post page 6 column. She is excited about a new relationship and probably got carried away in conversation. Those remarks came after Jason disclosed that Wendy, who has a 22-year-old son Kevin with her ex-husband, married recently following a phone call they exchanged a few months ago. Although it was later revealed that the relationship did not go precisely as planned, the fact that she was hell-bent on convincing the world she admits someone is really worrisome when you think about it. However, you can't blame her because she's been dealing with a slew of issues, some of which have recently been linked to her finances. While it's evident that Wendy will not be returning to her show, it has been performing fairly well in her absence. Sherry Shepard, a comedian actor, has taken a lot of guest hosting roles, to the point where some fans have begun to ask for her to become the permanent presenter. And there's a solid reason for it. While Williams was on the show regularly, she was increasingly being chastised for disrespectfully treating various themes, clashing with celebrities, inciting strong responses from them, or simply doing what many perceive to be unusual things while live on air. So it stands to reason that some of her admirers are ready to move on from her everyday antics when it comes to what they want from their daytime television. For some fans, the drama